Do. Hey, see here. I almost forgot about you guys. Anyway, welcome back, Margaritas in Paradise. Hey, today's Saturday. I decided to come back out to the balcony. It's a pretty nice day out. Let me turn the let's see here camera around there. Here's the little bit overcast sky, but and the winds are blowing a little bit, but it's pretty nice out in general. So kind of give you an idea. Looking pretty good for a Saturday. And it's nice and quiet out here. Let me put the camera back down. Stop the shaking of the hands type thing. Hey, let's see here. Right away, let's see here. Where are we at here? I wanted to put out a couple shout outs right away. I know you guys aren't interested in this, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. Of course, we had to meet up with the guys yesterday on Fridays, over at Wine Connection, and one of our viewers, maybe he's on here now, I'm not sure. Shout out to Bill. He ended up joining us over there, and so it was great to meet him. Now he's been a long time viewer. I have to give him. Anyway, that was a cement truck going by. Any constructions, you're not supposed to be working on Saturdays, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so shout out to Bill. It was really nice to meet him. A good, he has a great background and everything else, and he's been around here a long time. And he's a good addition. Okay, so, and then last night I ended up going down to Jomtien and met up with the Jomtien crew. I guess I don't know. If you guys have a name for yourselves down there, if any of you guys are on there, like Roger, and I'm going to talk about Roger a little bit and Philip. Let's see here. I sit there and I'm trying to place everybody that was at the table. Okay, it seems like there was more of you guys down there, but Shane, Rob, let's see here, Jeff, Bill, Paul. Did I get everybody there? Rob, Philip, Roger, Shane, Jeff, Bill, Paul. Some of them had the girlfriends with them or wives, that type of stuff. It was a nice. We had dinner and then went over to. I can't remember the name of the bar. What's the name of the bar? If anybody remembers, throw that in there. Definitely had a good time. So it just shows you that people talk about getting bored here, and I just don't get it, because me personally, I'm constantly busy, and some of my best friends, I talk about my core group and that type of stuff, and my best friends, here right now, of course, brother Doug, and my brother Tim, that I see a lot of, okay, but yeah, life is good. It really is good, and I can't imagine. Yeah, and the guys that like Bruce, he's another viewer, subscriber. He got here and he started golfing. I mean, I think he took his handicap from like a 30 and he's down below 20 now. Things like that. So he golfs frequently. I haven't been golfing as much here because of my shoulder, but there's that type of stuff. There's Night Flight, which he'll probably be on here too. I'm hoping, and he was living across the street now. He's living over on Pratamac, and there's lots to be weighed there. I'm glad. Obviously I'm biased. I think Wongamat, Naklua area is the best area to be in. Okay, but I definitely want you to go around and check the different areas, whether it's Jomtien, Pratamac, maybe the dark side, Central Pattaya, and this area as well. Y'all can't fit over here. No, I'm just joking. I want y'all over here. It's a lot easier to come to Naklua than it is to Jomtien. But I understand. Maybe, well, hopefully I can just make that 30-minute motorbike ride. I don't know. Sometimes a boat ride, because if I'm gonna be, like last night, I wasn't drinking. But anyway, so there's so many things to do, and these are just the social aspects of it. Whether you're into sports, golfing, hey, there's lawn bowling. Have you guys ever heard of lawn bowling? So anyway, yeah, there's several lawn bowling clubs here, and not only that, um, there's paddleball and there's pickleball. Uh, in the, I don't know, 15 years ago in the U.S., pickleball was really big. Is it big now? My daughter in the Philippines is just getting into it. I just had to buy her a pickleball racket, I guess. But yeah, so there's all these different things that you can do here, and yeah, I hate to. I don't want to overshadow the idea of nightlife, okay? Because I talk about that a lot. I do videos on nightlife because I know it's such a central part of why people come here. But there is more to do in Pattaya than, let's say, nightlife, right? And but on the other hand, um, it depends. There's so many of you guys, okay, that come over here and you're single and you're looking for something in your life, and maybe it's something that you already been through the stages of family and marriage and certain responsibilities and the thought process of what is normal in the world, right? And you come here and you're 50 years old, 60 years old, like me, okay? But or so people ask me all the time, how old are you? Well, I'm 62, but I feel like I'm 35. I get up, I look in the mirror every morning, and I'm wondering what the heck's going on, and that's life. We age, but yeah, we have such a good time, and the fact is that uh, I feel like the place I'm in right now has allowed me to live my better life. Uh, does that make sense? Florida Gator, huh? I appreciate it, brother. Oh my gosh, man. Hey, so this is a super thanks, right? $5 super thanks. I appreciate it. This is my first super thanks. So I appreciate it, man. You're awesome. Uh, so this is my fifth um, live stream. Hopefully we're trying to figure it out. And I'm gonna put a shout out to Cooper's Thai Adventure. And I was talking to him, and he has a program he uses, like StreamYard or something like that. And I'm going to look into that. I'm getting a new computer. That's a whole nother thing. And so we're going to try to play with that. And maybe I'm able to throw up screenshots and that of what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of times if there's a festival going on, maybe I can throw up a screenshot of that. And I just don't know how to do that right here. I need a 6-year-old little girl to show me how to work this thing sometimes. And yeah, and don't take that too seriously. I don't want any little kids hanging around here. But anyway, yeah, it's so back to things to do here. Warren, I have to get Warren down here. Okay. Warren, what's he, 82, 83 years old, something like that. And he lives here. He has now it's been a while since I've talked to him about his actual financial status and that type of stuff. But motorbike, it sounds like Mike going by. So anyway, uh, let's see. Yeah, you're right. YouTube is the way to go as far as teaching everything I need to know, right? So, okay, I lost my train of thought. Gosh dang it. It sucks getting old, doesn't it? All right. Well, anybody know where I was? Okay, let's see here. What was it? I wanted to. I have a few pages worth of stuff here I want to mention to you guys. And so, what's going on in town? Okay, and for the people that are here right now, like Matt and Doug and Tim and Bill and Mike and Mike and Mike. And there's at least 3 or 4 of you guys with the name Mike. Um, anyway, so lots of things going over. Terminal 21 has this Tasty Fest. I was over there. I actually did some video over there of it, but it was loud and there was a lot of people. But it wasn't, it was the bottom level of Terminal 21. So it was for the foodies that like all the really interesting aspects of Thailand type food and the stuff that you just don't see at all the festivals. Okay, the really unique things. It was pretty cool, and the smell of durian in the air. Do you guys like durian? Now I love durian, but I'll tell you in all honesty, it does kind of smell, and if you're gonna eat durian, you probably can't drink alcohol that day. Okay, and some people it really affects their stomach, especially if you eat too much, that type of thing. So, and me, I have a sensitive stomach. I'm sensitive. So anyway, yeah, you have to be careful about what you put in your mouth here in Thailand. You got all these bugs and things like that. And I'm not saying don't try the bugs. I did it 20 years ago. And when you come here, you have to try everything for the first time, right? So scorpions and cockroaches and things like that. Yeah, why not? It's kind of like going to the Philippines and having what is balut. I didn't think people actually eat it, and so a shout out if I have a friend of mine, lady that so Mike Philippines Mike is listening right now or not. Yeah, we're not. I don't think. I'm not sure. Are we together or not? I'm not sure. But the lady, we're taking a break. Yeah, we're taking a break. I don't know how that goes, but anyway, but she loves balut, and she'll get like a 10 pack of balut, and it's like 25, 30 pesos per egg. And what's that? It has a baby duck inside of it, right? It's right before the feathers get on it. Well, anyway, it's not my cup of tea, but if I was starving, I'd probably eat it. I've eaten a lot worse, and I'll tell you what. And 20 years ago, when I first came here and went to Cambodia, that type of stuff, I tried everything. I mean, everything. I'm not going to get into that. I'll just gross you guys out. But you definitely, yeah. Let's see here. Let's see, Tom, for your information, I let my membership lapse for the first month. I'll be resubbing. Okay, that's Gator. I appreciate everything you've done for me. Absolutely. And yeah. Anyway, I thank you for being a member, and if you're able to come back and that's another thing. I need to put out a shout out to new members. Okay, so new members since last week is Chuck, Andrew, and Tim. All right, so and if you're interested in being a member, I'll try to put there's a link in the description below for that. Okay, you can check out the intro video. And what does membership give you? It gives you, for the first level of membership, you're a part of the group. Okay, and the second level of membership gives you access to the members only videos. So there's a whole bunch of them, and then it gives you also, man, look at my hair. Yeah, I'm such a fashion statement. Anyway, yeah, it gives you access a first look at videos that are in queue right now. So there's like 2 or 3 videos in queue right now. I think I just put a new one up this morning, right? And so I've been doing these. Of course, I'm getting ready to go back to the United States. I'm going to touch on that a little bit too here. But so I'm trying to get videos out there ahead of time so I don't have to work as much in the U.S. I don't know if I'm going to be doing live or not. What do you think? Should I be doing live from the U.S.? I don't know. But there'll be a lot of things that are coming up that we can talk about, but we'll just kind of touch on that when we get to that level. Okay. So let's see here. Anyway, so yeah, I'm losing my thought process. And I'm jumping all over the place. Okay. We're getting back to what's going on in the Pattaya area. Here's another cool thing. So the end of this month, I think, yeah, it's the 27th through the 31st. Oh, Tom, you're all over the place. The Tasty Fest at Terminal 21 ends on the 25th. Okay, enough on that. So the 27th through the 31st, down by Central Pattaya, out on the beach, okay, they have this International Sand and Art Festival. And the cool thing, and I know you guys have seen this type of stuff before, they put all these sand sculptures out on the beach and really talented people out there. I mean, it's, you know, there's a couple festivals that I really enjoy here. Too many people overwhelm me a lot of times, okay? But some of these festivals are pretty cool, okay? I mean, the fireworks festival, you can't beat them, but there's just way too many people. So if you have a great condo like I do, and you can sit there and watch the fireworks from the balcony, that's a good way to go. But on the other hand, being down in the mix of everything, you know, is where it's at too. All right. So, in a festival like this, the Sand and Art Festival, where they have all these sand sculptures out there, these really talented people that put these things together, and they're fantastic. I've seen them in the U.S. when I was living in Florida as well. Even went to one in Texas, but here it's really something to see, and I highly, highly recommend that. Okay, there's another festival later on in the year. That's the Balloon Festival. I think that's another really cool thing they have there. The International Tattoo Festival, which I've done a video on. I'm not sure what time of the year. I think that's coming up too, but not. I think that's more October, November time frame. That's fantastic. And my absolute favorite festival that they have here. I like Songkran. Okay. I always do videos on Songkran. I like Songkran. A lot of guys just stay in and hide. I'm all about immerse yourself, into Thai culture, that type of stuff. And it's just fun. You have to have fun when you're here. Okay. And the last festival that I really, really love, and I don't know if you call this a festival or not, but it's Burapha Bike Week. Okay. It's the biggest motorcycle event in Thailand. Okay. And that's in February every year. It's like it's for 4 days in February time frame. And I think you can look it up. Burapha, it's like Burapha, and check it out on Facebook, that type of stuff. And I did a interview with Ricky Rhodes. Everybody has a story. He's one of the co-creators of Burapha Bike Week, that type of stuff. Anyway, it's a fantastic event. And I try to go out there just about every day. So I really highly recommend it. If you've been to Burapha, put it in the comment section below. I mean, it's really, really cool. And it's someplace you definitely should go. Okay. Also, this weekend, now I'm not sure where this is at. I guess it's probably over at Central. A lot of things that happen here in town are targeted around Central Pattaya over there, just past Soy 8-9, Pattaya Police Station, Soy 9. Yeah. Central Pattaya Mall has a lot of the things. So it's the International Film Festival right now. And that's going on right now, today and tomorrow, I believe. So if you're in town, hook up with that there. And what other things are going on locally here? Resurfacing a second road. Are they ever going to be done with this uh, construction on second or any of the roads out here? Beach Road, Second Road, it's crazy. We just got done with that. Um, Hello from across the street. All right, brother. Now, because I'll tell you what, because I'm out here on the balcony right now, um, I kind of have a glare on my screen, so it's really hard for me to see all the comments. I may end up having to go inside, but and put the shot. Oh yeah, yeah, the LPGA. So the golfers here. That's another great event too. It's a March April time frame, I think. Okay, yeah, and if you're over 60, you get in free. So that's a big plus. Um, yeah, the road construction. Um, it's always a headache. Okay, wherever they're doing the road construction, it creates these bottleneck choke points, and then when they're actually tearing up the road, just because it's Thailand, it's hard to keep people out of the construction. So even with the trucks and tractors down in there tearing up the road or laying new pavement down, um, people still drive down in there. They're in the way, and it's a lot of common sense when it comes to this here. And I'm probably no better. And that's another thing I have to talk to you about: pedestrian traffic, this, that, and the other. Okay, but yeah, it's so. I think the big game plan for this resurfacing project um, is that it was going to be done in 90 days, and it was basically from Pattaya all the way down to Dolphin Circle on Second Road. And the areas that they've done um, within the first few days, what they put down asphalt. Okay, they picked up the old surface, ground it up, and then reused that same material and created asphalt. And so, as Mike would tell you, or Nightflight would tell you, that it created a super smooth surface out there. And of course, he feels like that people are going to be racing out. I don't know. It's a lot of traffic out there. It's kind of hard. Maybe at nighttime, in the middle of the night, they may go out there and race or something like that. Um, but what I'm seeing, because asphalt, big buses and trucks are going down that asphalt and tearing it up. And it's only been a couple days that certain sections have been complete, you know. And yeah, it's, oh, brother, I appreciate it, man. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna touch on that, and then I'll get to you here in a minute. Okay. Um, they get on there, and there's a lot of this asphalt that they put down just in the last week that's already wavy, and the grates are sticking up above the asphalt. And that I'm questioning whether asphalt's the way to go or not. But anyway, we'll see. Right now, they're in phase two of the plan, which phase two goes all the way out to the 17th of September, and then phase three towards the end of October, I think. And so they're supposed to be on plan, So yeah, it's a never-ending process. But we are in Thailand. This is Thailand. So what? Let's see here, Gator. Thought process on May June timeframe. So you know, I think I told you guys before that anytime's a great time to be here in Thailand. May and June. Hang on, May and June. So what? May is the start of the rainy season. All right, and you're probably it's the start of the rainy season, so it's not a lot of rain right then, but you're coming out of the hottest part of the year. So April, May, that's probably the hottest part of the year here. Okay, and you're also kind of moving into high humidity levels and things like that. So if you're weather conscious and you can't stand the heat, um, you know, I would say that May and June's not the perfect time to be here. But if you're a Florida guy, okay, it's not going to bother you, okay, and you're going to get out. I mean, to me, you have to get out and do things. You have to enjoy your days, right? And probably my biggest fault is sleeping till 10 o'clock. A lot of times, you know, I get up at 9:30 to do this here by 10:30, right? But normally I go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. Normally, Doug. So I go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I wake up around 10 o'clock in the morning. That's my normal, the normal routine. Okay, um, and I'm retired and I can do whatever I want, right? So the shout out to Doug on that is Doug is well, he knows how I feel about it. You know, I love him, but Doug is um, he's one of these guys you go out with, and I think he believes that if the bars haven't closed yet, it's not time to go home. So when you go out with my brother Doug, you have to know that the chance of you going to bed at 2 a.m. in the morning, yeah, it's probably going to be 6 a.m. Okay, so that's just the way it goes. And what the heck, we live in a great place, you know, and we can do whatever we want. So yeah, if that makes sense. Um, but you know, May and June's fantastic time of the year to be here. More than likely, um, uh, well, the rates. Okay, there's not going to be as many people in the hotels, and there's not going to have the long lines. You're going to be right at the beginning, or a little bit into low season, and so that's going to be nice. The traffic's not going to be as bad, and that's a really great aspect, especially for the Pattaya area. Once you get out into the general tourist areas all over Thailand, things are going to step down from the high season lows. You know, so finding a hotel while you're traveling in Thailand, unless you're in a major city, obviously, you probably don't need reservations, things like that. And should you always get reservations? Well, if you don't want to be disappointed, but um, a lot of times, you know, I show up. I like to go in and talk to the people at the desk. I get the best prices possible. I still think you can find fantastic rooms for 1,000 baht or less. What's that? $30 or less a night. Uh, you know, and when I'm on the road, even though I always like to stay places with great views and nice pools and things like that, most of the time I'm more of a nightlife guy, and I'm probably not using the pools and that type of stuff. So you kind of take that into your thought process and that. But yeah, May and June's a fantastic time of the year. There's no doubt about it. And you're just kind of dealing with weather. But the later you go, like right now it's August, so we're just getting into we step back on this again. May starts monsoon season, but the real portions of monsoon season doesn't really start until August and September. Okay, so once you get to this time of the year, you should expect rain just about every day, and that's the reason why you look at the skies here. Everything seems to be overcast. Okay, now more than likely it will clear up today, and it's gonna be a pretty nice day out. Matter of fact, it is a nice day out right now. Um, so let's see here. Trying to hold this camera steady. No shaky Tom. So let's see here. Put this back. Put the camera back here on the computer. Anyway, yeah. So today's a fantastic day. I was glad I was able to come out and share more of my view and my coffee with you out here on the balcony. Um, yeah, we're just having a good time. Let's see here. Did I answer your question as far as um, May and June's concerned well enough for you? Anytime's a great time to be here, but What's the best time of the year to be here? You know, what's your opinion for the best time to be here? To me, um, I think as far as weather goes, this December and January, but that's when all the people are here, and it's not a time that you want to show up here and think you're just going to be able to find a room. You definitely need reservations uh, in the high season. All right, so yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see here. See, I should go back and grab some. I'm going to go back and answer some of these questions before I get out of hand. Okay. Uh, so let's see here. See, what's this thing say? I'm just learning this here. Start gold. No, we're not going to worry about that. Super chat. Super. Yeah. Okay. Um, Lost boy. Woohoo! It's great to be here in the land of smiles. Yep, you're right, brother. It is for sure. And Bill, hey, good to see you too. Shout out back to you, brother. Um, okay, so lawn bowling is an event in the Commonwealth Games. It's used to be very popular in Canada, Australia, UK, and the former colonies. There you go. You know, and I have a video on lawn bowling. The Colin, the owner of the place is Colin, and he's from the UK, and the place is called the Retreat. Okay, but there's several lawn bowling facilities here in the Pattaya area, and I'll throw another shout out to Clive and Di. They're Aussies, and they live right down the street from me. And I think Clive's back in Australia right now with some health issues, but he got me into or tried to get me into lawn bowling, and I think their daughter's a professional bowler. Is that what you'd call them? Bowler? I don't know. Anyway, so that's yeah. So definitely check that out. I have my one of my the guys, Ross. He keeps saying that we need to go out and try our hand at lawn bowling, and he's probably right. You know, I just haven't done it yet. I've been out there filming it and doing the. Everybody has a story, um, out there on that. And let's see here. I'm jumping around. Here's another one here. I just did I just did an interview with Roger. Okay, a shout out to you, Roger. This guy, one of the guys from the Jom Tien crew. Um, so here's a guy with lots of life experiences. We just did that on Wednesday. Hopefully, I'm hoping that next Saturday his interview will be public. All right. Um, anyway, if any of you guys have a story to tell, want to help other people share your stories, definitely contact me. You can get a hold of me at margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. Send me a note. And if you're in Thailand, I'll come to you. So if you're in the north or the south or wherever here in Pattaya, obviously it'd be a lot easier. But you know, like I say, I can come to you. I like to drive around. You know, out of what was there 76 provinces I think in Thailand. I've been to 70 of them, and I've driven to all 70 of them. Okay, and so yeah, I enjoy getting out and enjoying um, Thailand. I really do. So, but anyway, so we got that interview coming up. We have another guy scheduled as well, but I want to keep that going. I know, uh, and if you're concerned about the questions I may ask, I can even send you a copy of the canned questions. You know, the interview gets developed upon maybe your answers of what you want to say. But if there's anything that is off topic that you don't want to mention, you just let me know, and that stuff gets deleted. That make sense? All right. So, uh, yeah. So you definitely want to do that. Um, let's see here. Where was I at? Oh, let me find out where we're at in questions and that type of comments. Again, appreciate that Super thanks. Definitely appreciate that. YouTube videos will teach you everything you need to know. Yeah, Sidecar. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You know, there's a thing called YouTube University, and they're right on the money. So they keep mentioning to me that I have to ask about super thanks and thumbs up. You know, so uh, thumbs up. Yeah, I'll throw that out there now. If you haven't done, I say there's already 20 thumbs up on this live stream, and if you haven't given me a thumbs up, please do it. You know, if you like what I'm doing, it signals to the algorithm that what I'm talking about a good thing. All right, and it doesn't cost you anything. And anyway, and I appreciate you. You're making me happy, and I'm already happy, but I definitely appreciate it. You know, um, you know, guys ask me all the time about like the money that I make from this YouTube stuff, and yeah, I'm not a, I'm not a rich guy. I'm not a poor guy. I'm just in the middle. I enjoy my life. I've been very fortunate in life, and but I don't make a lot of money from this. You know, this pays for like a couple massages and beers. I I really try to put all the any real money that I make uh, from this back into the site. So, like just last week, I bought a new mic set, DJI DJI Mic 3 set, so an up to date mic set, that type of stuff. Yeah, again, I'm an old guy. I don't freaking. I'm still learning. I'm really still learning, and that's what I tell people about all the time. It's kind of like I just met Cooper from Cooper's Thai Adventures. You know, another shout out to him. Um, you know, I need people to. I like critical feedback to tell me how I can get better, and all of you guys that take an interest in me and send me messages or give me ideas and that type of stuff. I definitely appreciate it. Does that make sense? Well, I hope it does. And just to let you know, I'm not making a lot, but I do appreciate, so if somebody buys me a cup of coffee or something like that, in all honesty, YouTube takes their cut out of it and then they turn it over to a third party person or company and they take their percentage out of it, you know. So $5 turns into $4.30 or something like that. It's real easy. So that kind of sucks, right? Is that the right word? I don't know. But anyway, I definitely thank you. Yeah, I definitely thank you. So give me the thumbs up if you feel like it's warranted. Okay. Um, and then here's another one. When I was in the U.S., I remember the last time I was in New Orleans. They had all these little scooters that were just kind of parked on the sidewalks, and you scanned a QR code or something like that, and created an account, and they had bicycles too. And I don't know if that's the thing anymore in the U.S., but apparently that's coming to Pattaya. And so the mayor was on, like Pattaya Mail and that type of stuff. I think that's our normal. We have a Pattaya Mail. Brian Flowers, you know who Brian Flowers is? The creator of Night Wish, and that type of stuff. I think he owns Pattaya Mail. Okay, um, and then there's a there's a radio station here, like 107 or something like that, that has a 4-minute news cast every day, and that kind of lets us know what's going on in this area here. There's other publications. There's the Frong, if you're a German speaker. Bajor, he lives in this condo. Someday I'm going to do an interview with him, and he publishes this really great newspaper. I think it's like a monthly publication, that type of stuff, of what's going on locally here. Now we're talking about local is the Pattaya metro area. Okay, so people talk about all the time. Well, Pattaya Metro is such a big area. Yeah, it's, you have all, it's kind of like St. Louis or any other big city. You have little sections within the mass, So here, and there's probably more, you probably, you can break everything down by districts, but the areas that we know, like Naklua, where I live here, North Pattaya, Central Pattaya, is South Pattaya an area? I don't know. You have the dark side, anything on the east side of Sukhumvit Highway. Okay, and there's different sections over there as well. And if you go north here, there's Banglamung, and we're kind of in Banglamung in this area here, but that's getting into district end of it there. We jump over to Pratamak Hill area, and that's a whole nother area. And you jump over to Jomtien, and then you go and you keep heading south, and you get into Na Jomtien, okay? And I'll tell you what, up until recently, I always felt like Na Jomtien was pretty small, but it's massive. It's really big too. And right on the other edge of that is Bang Sarai, okay? So, and that's getting bigger too. It's been a while since I was down there. I just went down there and ate, and really had a great time with Peter and Pi. And yeah, my life is full, guys. I'll tell you what, I have a lot of things to do here in Pattaya, Thailand, and you can too. You can be here. Yeah, come on over. We'll have a drink, have coffee. Life is good. So anyway, those are the different areas that you have to contend with, and every place is different, and that's the reason why I tell people when they come here to give all the areas a chance. Stay here for a couple weeks, move on to Central Pattaya or whatever. A lot of the real partying guys, okay, like to be in in Central Pattaya, around, let's say, the Soy Bacau area, Soy Diana, that type of stuff, the base condominiums, the edge condominiums, those type places, because they don't have to drive for one thing. They can just walk wherever they're going, and it's really within a couple hundred meters. Yeah, and it doesn't matter if they want to go to the beach or they want to go out and have a beer or shoot pool or even go golfing, because the local golf clubs like the Links and Travelers Rest and Harry's and all these different bars and restaurants have individual clubs that you become a part of, and they take care of everything from transportation, finding you clubs, that type of stuff. If you're a golfer, or if you're a dart player, or you're a lawn bowler, or whatever the case may be, there's a lot of different options for you. Or you just want to socialize, kind of like the Jomtien crew. These guys are really organized. I mean, they meet up, a fraction of them meet up for bowling on Mondays, okay? And Jomtien, so they have a bowling alley over there. We used to have a bowling alley here, but if you want to go bowling, you have to go to Jomtien, I believe, right? Yeah. Anyway, there's so many things to do. Veterans organizations. We have two VFWs, one here in Pattaya and one down in Bonchang. Both great organizations. We have an American Legion. There's other foreign veterans groups here as well. So there's lots of things for you to do. Take advantage of your life here. Okay, I'm going to go through the questions a little bit more. Let's see here. No, you don't have to eat bugs, right? Yeah, you don't have to eat. Man, I'll tell you what. Don't eat anything that you're not comfortable with. Don't let people peer pressure make you do things that you're not wanting to do. Okay. I did it all, I want to tell you the brains I ate. Oh, God. Anyway, I don't need that, Yeah. The first LPGA I went to, I was so fortunate. And shout out to Moore, pro golfer, professional golfer. Moore is on the senior circuit here. He's a Thai guy, and he's a great guy. And that goes out to Shot and Wayne and all these other pro golfers that are here that are local. um, that kind of taken me under their wing and showed me a good time. All right. And anyway, so yeah, that's Pro More. He gets a certain amount of free tickets, that type of stuff anyway. And then you get into the certain clubs at the LPGA. That's always a nice thing. You benefit from the freebies, like well, I think everybody gets a hat when you go there, but you get a shirt, that type of thing. You know, the different sponsors like Callaway and Titleist and that type of stuff that's sponsored within the LPGA. Honda, it's a Honda event, right? So anyway, yeah, that's a fun event to do. The weight loss, oh man, I'll tell you what, I'm up like freaking 14 kilos. Um, now don't get me wrong, I ended up losing almost 50 kilos altogether. So, but you can see it right here. I mean, it's just horrible. I hate it. I'm thinking about when I go back to the U.S. this next month, talking to my doc. I have 3 appointments, and then I have a wedding to go to. That's the main reason why I'm going back to the wedding. I can go to doctor's appointments here. But I'm going to talk to my VA doctors about getting on like the Wegovy or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's weight loss it's a change of life. It's dedication and it's self-control. And I know, you have to get out and exercise. I'm a steady walker. I still get probably close to around 7,000 plus steps in a day, sometimes 10 to 20,000. So yeah. Anyway, I definitely appreciate that. Tab, that's it. So that was Vespar. I appreciate it. Tab, again, thank you very much on the like buttons. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Yeah, I can already see since we talked about that how many people have hit the like button. Let's see here. Jay, I'm sorry, the glare is so bad. I wish I had a way to figure that one out. Are there a lot of retired military living out there? Yeah, there are. Any veterans clubs, meetups? Yeah, there is. It's like the second Tuesday of the month is the local Pattaya VA or not VA, VFW, and I'm a life member there. I've been a life member there since 2006. Okay, and yeah, but and there's American Legion here as well, and there's other groups, and so they have this total. I did a video here on Total Wellness Center, and they have these veterans clinics. Okay, now these are not VAs, and people seem to think that they're VAs. Okay, they're private organizations that have developed these centers that look at people that are registered with FMP. So you're familiar with FMP for the U.S. military people. That's a foreign medical program. So if you qualify for FMP, it's based on your rating and service-connected items on your rating. Okay, and so these organizations like this, what's it called, Heroes something or another. I'll try to put it in the comment section below, okay, later on. But and I have a video on this as well, and you should. I think they're over on Pratamac Hill, and you can go over there and check them out and everything. Bring a copy of your benefits authorization letter for FMP. Now, the guys that are on FMP will know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you go to the VA site, search Foreign Medical Program, and see if you're qualified to register for that. Okay. And the important thing to do is once you get that, so if you have a VA rating and say 50% or more, you're probably qualified for the FMP program. But once you get qualified, then you have to request a benefits authorization letter. And you can have, I had it shipped here, mailed here. Okay. And so that's a whole issue in itself. You can look at my videos for kind of the hassles that I went through getting this letter. eventually I ended up getting it through email, and then they did send me a hard copy eventually, but it took a while. All right. So the thing is if you're in the U.S., you don't have to wait till you come here to register for the foreign medical program. Okay. You can do it years in advance, have a U.S. address to register for it. But once you're registered, that's it. You don't have to re-register. It's not like voting, you're having to re-register all the time. Okay. So get that taken care of. And then if I was you, I would make a digital copy of that benefits authorization letter and keep a folder. Like I have a folder on my phone called important documents, and I have my passport, all my credit cards, everything in that folder. All right. And it's in my secure section, so nobody just has access to it. But yeah. So, a couple weeks ago, I was having some health problems. I thought I was having a heart attack. Okay, and ended up going to the emergency room. And here's another thing, all the different levels of hospitals here. I went to the best hospital. I went to Bangkok Hospital, and went to the emergency room. I was there for 5 hours or so. What would a visit like that cost in the U.S.? Well, here in Thailand, it was like, here in Thailand, my final bill was like, let's say 9,000 baht. Okay, less than $300. Now, I was already pre-registered with Bangkok Hospital with the FMP program. They took care of 100% of it. All right. So a 5-hour visit to the emergency room, blah, blah. What would have that cost in the U.S.? Tell me in the comment section below, but I bet it's more than $300. All right. So, yeah, so that type of thing there, the FMP program is fantastic for military veterans that qualify. Okay. But everything that is charged under the FMP program, you have to have a service-connected disability associated. Does that make sense? So if you're taking blood pressure medicine and you have a heart attack, more than likely you're covered. Okay, makes sense? Hopefully. We can get into more about that later on. But yes, lots of military people here. It's a great deal, I think, for all U.S. military people here. Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Florida game. I'm surprised we didn't meet. 56 years, man. I was in that. I had my RV in Tonahasa, Florida. Yeah, right outside of Tampa for years and years and years, and finally moved it. Well, anyway, it's gone. The RV is gone. Okay. So yeah, I always liked the Tampa area. It's fantastic. I kind of moved around. I stayed in Naples for a while, and I stayed down in Key West, that type of thing. So life is good. Life is good. Let's see here. Okay, Cooper's time. Hey, Tom. Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, it's good to meet you too. Okay, so Coop's on here, or he was. I hope he's on here. Okay. Shout out to them. I'm like I say, I'm learning things as I go. I hope. Yeah, bear with me, guys. Tell me help me be better. There a minute here. Let's get a drink of water, or not water, a cup of coffee. Drink a cold coffee. Maybe I need to take a break and throw that in the microwave. But okay, wait a minute here. Flip that over. Hey, so I'm going to jump back. No. Let's see here. Let's see. Go back to the comments there. Let's see. Here's Super Steven. I'm doing good, brother. Yeah, I'm doing good. And Marty. Hey, man. I was thinking about you the other day. Yeah, believe it or not, we're not getting as much rain as you would think we would be getting at this time of the year. And the skies have been blue, And even though today the ocean, I'll turn this around for you again. The ocean is looking really nice, and try not to shake too bad. But you see Colarn straight out there now. See, that's Colarn out there. It's 7 kilometers out, and you can see. I can see the boats moving out there, and if I sit there with my binoculars, I can see people in the docks out there. So that's pretty cool. And then, and if you see the Pattaya sign way out there, past the ghost building. Anyway, yeah, the life is good. Let's see here. Yeah. Anyway, eventually, I think. See, Coop was telling me about is it StreamYard or something like that for going live. Eventually, I'm going to figure that out because it can only benefit me, right? I know this is fine for now. Yeah. Anyway, so let's see here. Get back to the comments here. Superstition, I'm doing great. Yeah, I appreciate it. What the most bar girls have written on the back of your motorbike? What the most bar girls have written on the back of your motorbike? Marty, you're going to have to elaborate there. I don't know. Nobody, my motorbike isn't anything special by any means. I have a Yamaha NMAX 155, perfect for me. I'm not a shine and a buff type guy. Amazon or Cat. So you know my status as far as my girlfriends. I have like 10 girlfriends, right? And and the girls take care of my stuff. Amazon takes care of my truck. I think she believes that truck's going to be hers someday. Okay, so and she's great. Most of you guys a lot of you guys have met Amazon. A lot of you have met Kat. A lot of and Gay up in Chiang Rai. A lot of guys met Gay and she's let's see. I was with her the other day. She's my teller from SEB Bank there, and Gay too. I think I'm going to see her maybe tomorrow night or something like that. So yeah, life is good. You have to do what makes you happy here. Okay, but I'm not sure about riding on my motorbike. Riding maybe. I've had a lot of girls on my motorbike. That's for sure. Okay. Yeah, I need to get to this sauna. Night Flight keeps talking about all the saunas in town, and I miss hot tubs in general. Okay, I mean the real hot tubs, not like Tim's hot tub. Okay, but anyway, I do miss that. So it's like it's something to, yeah, and of course Mike, I'm going to get him to do an interview with me someday. Or Night Flight. Okay, and the guy is full of. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he's done a lot in his life. He's my age, but he's done a lot. I didn't even know about what he knows about the things that he was doing in life. Yeah, it's just crazy. I feel like I was, I traveled the world and everything, but I lived a sheltered life after living here and listening to all things that people have done. It's just crazy, How many Navy SEALs, how many Navy SEAL, sniper, blah blah blah, have you met in your life? Anyway, I won't get into that. I'm just kind of joking, but you do meet a few of those around here. Okay, so let's see here. Granddaughter had pain in stomach, MRI, cyst, passed, no treatment, night observation, bill $12,000. Oh my God, man! Yeah, that's crazy. I can't imagine. Yeah, here it's a lot different. And if you're fortunate enough to have good health insurance here, which is critical. I mean, for the guys that I'm fortunate where I have what I have, but the thing is for the most part, I have to pay out of pocket and then get reimbursed for like my TRICARE overseas insurance. But my FMP, of course, that covers me 100%. And I'm in the hospitals. At least Bangkok Hospital just charges them, so I don't have to pay anything. So, yeah, if you guys ever want to talk about this type of stuff one on one, you can contact me. Um, Send me a message at margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. I'd be glad to go over things with you. I try to reply to everybody, okay, but I know there's things that are private, and I get that. Okay, so yeah, hit me up at that margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. Right. So let's see here. All right, you're right. Yeah, Gator. Yeah, it's probably ridden on the back. There's been a few. I've had a few girls. Okay, and I've had multiple girls. I got Pi coming over, and her sister just came into town. Pi was talking about. Um, so Pi is now. I don't want to burst the bubble. I age of women that I like. I like 35 to 50-year-old, um, but every now and then I see a younger girl. Okay, so Pi's like 21, and her sister's 20, and so I think they're coming over soon. So that ought to be interesting. So yeah, life is good. Hunter, let's see here. Longtime subscriber of your channel and Cooper's Thai. Appreciate the great advice. Both channels have provided me 2 exploratory trips so far. Fantastic. Yeah. You know, um, I'll tell you what, you definitely want to get out. Uh, I'm going to put on another shout out to, I was over at JD's place, and we did a video on JD's, he has a pool villa. Okay. And he's the guy with the pool table and that. And he had a big open house over there, and you wouldn't believe the number of people. It was a great party. Okay, we had a great time. If you if you want to organize a party, he's the guy to talk to. But anyway, and Pete on Retreat was another YouTuber that was over there, and he was cool. Um, and he plays music, and yeah, he's a really cool guy. So he's not really active right now, but so I'm going to put a shout out to Pete, and yeah, it was cool. We had a good time. Um, let's see here. Yeah, so Wongamat Tower. Let's see here. Let's see here. So this is Wongamat Tower right here. Okay, that's where Night Flight was staying for a while, and I'm right across the street from him in Wongamat Beach. Okay, I think a lot of you guys have seen my place. Here's my swimming pool. If you look straight down, the swimming pool's on the 4th floor, and I'm on the 8th floor. Oh, there's people in the pool. Have to watch about the privacy on that, huh? Anyway, you know, people ask me all the time, why am I only on the 8th floor? I could be higher. I've had condos here, and that doesn't matter. But uh, I'm all about elevators and wait times. Maybe a little bit impatient. I don't know what it is, but um, and being able to do what I like to do. This is the perfect level for me. I don't have mosquitoes. Every now and then I do get moths, the bigger like butterfly type moths that'll make it up here, and I get birds every now and then. I've taken, that's the reason why I got an owl up here. Let's see if you can see my owl on top of the microwave there, and its head little bobbles around and that type of stuff. I also you see my camera up on the balcony. People ask about that. Why do I have a camera here? Well, in all honesty, when I first moved here, my dad said he wishes that he could see the ocean more. So I put it up there and I gave him access to the camera, and he can spin it around and see the ocean. But now the camera's kind of behind. I got a new refrigerator, which raised the microwave up, and I just haven't moved the camera to a better location yet. So it's kind of useless right now. But it does work, I'm sure. So if somebody had access to my camera, they could probably watch me streaming you right now. Okay. Anyway, that's doable. But there's no cameras inside. Not anymore. Okay, so all right, yeah. Let's see here. Um, okay, so Gator Wahin. Wahin's great. Okay, and a lot of people like Wahin. To me, um, you know, the infrastructure of Wahin compared to the Pattaya metro area is not enough. Okay, it's not enough. Um, you have nightlife over there. It's a scaled down version. Everything costs more in Wahin, in my opinion. When you go out to eat, because there's lots of really nice restaurants that are there, um, and the main highway goes right through the middle of town. They do have these secondary roads that are on the outside that skirt around Wahin, and I eventually believe that they'll redivert traffic all the way around Wahin. But right now, the main road was that Highway 4. I'm just off the top of my head. It goes right down the middle of Wahin, and I would say it's at least 6 lane, maybe 8 lanes. It's walking across Highway 4. I always stay at the S3 or the Hilton there, and so trying to walk across uh, the road from get from point A to point B sometimes is hectic because traffic is flowing. The I'm trying to think about this, but I think the speed going through town is like 60 kilometers an hour. Okay, it's pretty fast. Maybe it's only 40, who knows? But it's still fast. People go faster than what they should be, and it's because it's Thailand traffic. It's chaos. Yeah, and so there's that. But there's some great places there. They have a great walking street, but it's definitely family oriented. Lots of mom, pop, and the kids, that type of stuff. If you like the girls like me, there's girls there. But I think don't get me wrong. There's the hidden treasures there. There's no doubt about it. But uh, if you're into a certain class of uh, nightlife or partners, that type of stuff, the best of the best either come here, Bangkok, or Phuket, and there's a lot that come here. I mean, we have 20,000 bars here. I don't know how many other type of establishments, and there must be. I bet there's a 250,000 girls, working in these bars and that type of stuff. So, if you're into that type of stuff, and a lot of guys are, okay, uh, yeah, you have a lot of options, okay, and Patty is just fantastic when it comes to that. I was talking about uh, last week. I'd say uh, people ask me all the time about uh, expats, longtime expats, that they don't go to Walking Street. They don't hang out in these popular tourist areas. That's BS. Okay. Um, your expats, the people that live the lifestyle that I live, uh, go to these areas because that's where the best people are at. If you're, I shouldn't say the best people, you know, if you, let's say you rate partners based on a 10 scale, you know, if you want the ones and twos, you can stay in the U.S. And I'm not saying they don't have beautiful people in the U.S., but I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Um, so I like what I have here, right? Yeah, I'm probably digging myself deeper. Anyway, uh, here there's a lot of really great talent per se available, and it doesn't matter whether you decide to go out or if you're on Thai friendly, which is another whole different option that's absolutely available for you right here. So yeah, I should leave that alone. I should leave it alone. Let's see here. Pie. Love that name. It rhymes with hair. Okay, yeah. Let's see here. JD, hey, great to see you. Coop, Pete, at the party last week. Yeah. So JD, I appreciate you being on here, brother. Definitely appreciate it. And good to see you yesterday, and we'll see you again soon, right? And Siam Country Club. What's that? Night flight. Okay. Uh, if you drive into the nightlife, I came to Pattaya for 10 days. Okay. I think if I need it, I can drive. Yeah. And that's a lot of people do. They go down to Bang Saray or live on the outskirts. And, people don't need the nightlife. Um, for the longest time, I was going out maybe every two or three. I'd go out 2 or 3 nights a week, and lately it's been more than that. But, and I need to get back to, um, I'm spending too much money right now. I'm getting out of my budget, and I need to get back to living on a budget. When you're living on a budget, you don't worry about anything. You know what I mean? So that's important. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. See, so Mike, he's talking about he could live on the dark side. Yeah, a lot of people um, jump over there. A lot of the guys that like pool villas and that type of stuff, I understand they want to be close to the beach and that sort of thing. But in all honesty, most people that live in villas on this side of the road can't see the beach because they have walls up around their property. Um, so if you go over to near Maprashan Lake area, you can probably get into a bigger villa, okay, with a pool and that type of stuff for a lot less money than it costs locally here. So yeah, it just depends on what you need. I would think that if I had a villa like JD or Coop or any of those guys, I'd probably have a dog. you know, and I don't want a dog because I travel too much, that sort of thing. And having an animal is responsibility, and it's responsibility that I personally don't need because I want to be able to do what I want to do. All right? Hopefully you understand that. So I wanted to throw out there some other things. I have a whole bunch of things here, really. I wanted to throw out some places that I like to eat. Okay, foodie in general, right? And one of the places, it's been in the news a little bit. People have been talking about it. You always ask people talk about the best pizza and things like that in town, and then you get into whether it's sushi or German food or all these international flavors. But what is some of the best Italian food in town? And you know, the normal places that you hear are going to be places like Frankie's Inn over in Jomtien off Second Road, or Dom's Pizzeria on Soy 5 and Pratimac Hill are really good. There's Toscano's down here on Beach Road that's really good. And there's lots of other places. But one place that's been talked about a lot social media wise is Italy. Okay, and I've mentioned this before. Again, that's over on Soy 5, and it's I think it's getting down there towards Dom's Pizzeria and that type of stuff. So Italy is fantastic. If you haven't tried Italy, it's Eatily. Gosh, I've been there like 3 times, and I get it. It's out of my way. Okay, so I don't go there normally, but when Fabian's in town or things like that, my other brother from a different mother. Okay, when he's in town, uh, and he's a foodie, he's the German French foodie. Yeah. So he's fun to be around, especially when food's involved, right? And schnapps, German Austrian schnapps, right? So definitely check out Italy. If you have a favorite place, definitely put it in the comment section below. Um, yeah, and try not to get hung up on food when you're here because there's lots of food available. Here's another one, like Creamery. Oh my goodness. We ate the new La Creamery. There's 3 of them here in Pattaya. Um, they're fantastic, really high end Belgium bakery. And I did a short on Lake Creamery here, and I linked for all the other shops in the area. Um, yeah, if you're here and you like coffee, and they have food, they even have beer there. You definitely want to check them out, and they're affordable. You know, um, I was in there. I haven't been going there because my diet just doesn't allow it. But I was in there. I had grandmother's cherry tart. Oh my god, it was so good, and it's just, and it was like with a cappuccino, and the cappuccino comes with a piece of like sponge cake or something like that, and fresh cream on the side. It was like 180 baht, something like that, like $6 for the piece of pie, the cappuccino, and the extras, right? So it's a really great place. Definitely, uh, yeah, definitely give that a try. But put in the comment section below if you're interested in certain places or you know of a great place to eat. Um, Roger, he was talking about this 200 baht breakfast over in Jomtien on Soy White House. I can't even remember the name. Booker's House or something like that. Definitely check that out. Yeah, let's see here. What Smarty say there? He had at least one dog for 40. Huh? Had at least one dog for 43 years. It's like having a 3-year-old child. Then the guilt when you have to leave them in the kennel. Yeah, so I get that. I was raised around dogs too, and I was raised around black labs in general. I had a lot of black labs. So yeah, and here's another thing. Um, I'm going to skip ahead, but we're talking about things. When you're uh, things that you bring to Thailand. Okay, when you're going through your collection. Okay, whether you're in the U.S. or wherever it is, what do you do with everything? You have to get rid of everything. Okay, and what I found out is that I didn't value everything that I have. And I have a lot of stuff, still have a lot of stuff, but um, what it took is a reminder. I have my sister Kathy. I'll put a shout out to Kathy. She's wonderful, beautiful, wonderful, um, and so she's going through all my stuff that I'm sending to the Goodwill, and and the next thing you know, she's like, "No, no, you're not getting rid of that. You're not getting rid of this here," and um, I'm I'm hanging out with her, getting ready to come over here, and she wraps up. She goes through all the junk that I don't have. She wraps things up and then sticks them in my suitcase to bring over here. Okay, so I put this out here. Here's a coffee mug. Okay, that I had that I was just going to give to the Goodwill, and she's absolutely right because now it's Amazon comes over here or whoever, they have to drink out of this coffee cup. But here is a coffee cup with a picture of a couple dogs on it. Okay, let's see here. The little one there was Bandit. It was a stray that we found on the streets probably 40 years ago. And then Ari, Arabella, was a black lab. And yeah. And so shout out to Lori that probably made this for me and what she put on the back here. The girls. Okay. Uh, yeah, dogs, they're like kids to us. I was never fortunate to have my own children. And yeah, so, and things like this here, what was I thinking about giving this to Goodwill? You know, and so, uh, like Cat or Amazon or On or whoever comes over here, they always have to drink out of this coffee mug. So it's things like that, and I have all kinds of things, whether photos or I had I don't know, I probably had 30 or 40 albums of photos, and I ended up going through all the photos and saving the ones that were the most important to me, and I downplay it, put everything in this like a gallon Ziploc bag and brought them over here. And every now and then I go through them now. I go through these pictures more now than I did for years of having all these 3-ring binders on the shelves in my basement in Clinton, Missouri. Okay. Anyway, so I appreciate that type of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's important to take care of your well-being in your head. Don't forget about your roots, that type of stuff. And if you're going to be here, yeah, yeah, Bandit, the dog from Johnny Quest. Yeah, you got it, brother. And Bandit at the time, she kind of looked like a raccoon to me. And of course, she was a dog. That's the reason why we called her Bandit. But yeah, it's crazy. So here's I wanted to mention comfort items. Okay, things that when I go to the U.S., there's a certain amount of things that I end up getting. Now, I was talking about, yeah, I get that, Mike. Yeah, I had a massive amount of tools as well. But when I go to the U.S., I get these things. I bring back things that make my life easier. Okay, so I always mention to people. I get a lot of times people say, "Hey, can I bring you anything?" Okay, and if you're ever thinking about bringing me anything, in all serious, okay, one of my favorites that I know it's not good for me or anything, but I like. Let me show you this here. Sweet Baby Ray's sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. Okay, so I have people grab that for me. This one happens to be my buddy just got here, a 40 ouncer, and more than likely when I go back next month, I'll probably bring back 2 or 3 of those for me as well. Another thing that I always grab is at least one of the economy boxes of Sudafed. Now you can get meds here, but it seems like when you got a stuffy nose or stuff like that, Sudafed is the thing that works the best for you. And I always bring back like at least 1 or 2. It kind of depends on if when I was in Florida, you have to register and you can get like 1 economy box or something like that per month of Sudafed, right? So, but you can't buy it here. Uh, and I've never had a problem bringing it back. So here, but anyway, I always bring Sudafed. So if you're coming over here and you have room in your case or anything, bring me a box of Sudafed. I'll pay you for it. And here's another one that I absolutely love. And it comes down to it's not like you get sick all the time, but when you do get sick, these comfort items are great. And I like this here. This Chloroseptic sore throat spray. I'm on my last bottle. I'm about a third of a bottle left. I'll probably definitely pick up 2 or 3 bottles of that. And another one, even though I know a lot of people talk about, is Pepto-Bismol tabs. Now they have Pepto-Bismol pills here, okay, but they're not the same as the Pepto-Bismol tabs. When I go to the U.S., I buy the brand name ones, not the generic ones. Okay, for some reason in my head, when it comes to Pepto-Bismol tabs, the brand name ones work the best. So I end up getting like an economy box of those, usually 2 boxes. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Sam took a look to find it in my pictures. So much food. I think you recommended that Sicily restaurant. Yeah, well, in the west of town, best Italian I found out there. Not cheap, but 1,000% worth it. Yeah, everybody says I should have brought that up. Everybody says Sicily is fantastic. It's out there by Mopperson off of Siam Country Club. And it's not on Siam. It's off of Siam Country Club Road. There's a Y out there, and you head down towards the golf courses to the right, and at that Y you take a left, going up around the what would be the south side of Mopperson Lake, and it'll be on the right there is Sicily's. And Yeah, everybody that goes there says it's fantastic. Even Italian guys that go there really like Sicily. So that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Um, yeah, and there's lots of great restaurants out there. You know, Route 66, another place. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, definitely check that out. Let's see here, Marty. Google has a free app that you can take a picture of your photos, then load them onto a photo frame player. Yeah, so that's uh, so I have one of those. It's on an app called Framo. Yeah, matter of fact, I bought one for my dad, and so sometimes I load up, especially when I'm golfing and that type of stuff. I'll send pictures to his Framo or frame, digital frame, and pictures come up. They just kind of run random on a slideshow. The one I have in here is like a 5x7, something like that. Um, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, that's really a neat, yeah, something neat to do. So and then I was mentioning about going to the U.S. and that. So there's certain things I take advantage of when I'm going to the U.S. And one of them is the Army Air Force base exchange products. Okay, so I bought a new computer, bought a new MacBook, bought it on through the exchange. You know, normally you can get at least 10% off Apple products, that type of stuff, that way going that. And then because I haven't been using the exchange in so long, I was able to apply for their credit card, and your first item you get like 20% off. So that it ended up saving me another like $600 on my MacBook. So that's another opportunity. I mean, if you guys have those privileges, like the base exchange, Navy exchange, whatever it is, definitely take advantage of it. And other things that you when you're military associated, like Navy Federal Credit Union bank accounts and their credit card, debit cards. USAA is another service. You could probably look into your family tree and find somebody that was military associated, and just because they're military associated, you're probably qualified to be a part of USAA. So anyway, double check on that. A lot of great benefits. The credit cards and debit cards are fantastic when there's no foreign transaction fees involved. Does that make sense? And if you're using, like I got an ad or not an ad, a link in the description below for the Schwab debit card. Now, don't get me wrong, Schwab, somebody pointed this out. You need to have a brokerage account and a debit card associated with each other. Okay. But if you have that debit card, you don't have foreign transaction fees. And at the end of the month, they refund you any ATM fees that were charged on this end. So that's a good way to move money without it costing you anything here in Thailand. Fidelity has the same thing going on there. So you can check on the Fidelity site. There's lots of different options out there. I have friends that live on. I don't recommend credit cards in general, but I have friends that live on credit cards off the miles, that type of stuff. They just pay it off every month. And if you can do that, that's a good way to go too. I have one friend that flies all the time, but he always uses miles, even if he has to buy miles. So, yeah. Let's see here. Retired Navy. Yeah, cool. Hunter. Let's see here. Retired Navy here. Agree with you. Navy Federal Credit Union USA has some great resources. Schwab is great for ATM use in Thailand. Yeah, that's the way to do it, brother. Sounds like you're on top of your game. You know what? When I go to the U.S., one of the things that I miss the most is prime rib. You know, and an easy prime rib for me is like Texas Roadhouse. I think they have good, or Outback, franchise type places that are affordable in my price range. The bad thing about, I think, Roadhouse, they only have it like on Saturday night, Friday or Saturday night, something like that. and of course it's the busiest time of the, getting there. But the nice thing, it seems to me like I have a rewards card with Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse, and you get preference on waiting times, and you can call ahead of time too, and reserve a table. So that's that's what I would say. Prime rib. Um, my teeth are getting worse and worse by the older I get, so it's getting harder to chew things. But normally, these prime ribs they're like cutting beef with like butter, So that's what I like the best. Of course, I'm a sushi nut too, so I like sushi. If I get around the coast, um, I like crab legs. That's another thing. I don't know why crab legs. They're not the same crab legs. Whether it's snow crab legs or king crab legs. Here in Thailand, it's a different style of crab, and then, most of that stuff. If I was in Florida, I don't even bother with those little bitty uh, legs. You just toss them. But here, everybody goes after the smallest. Yeah. Anyway, so those are the things that I miss, but I'm trying to, not eat as much of that type of stuff. So um, stay away from the buffets. Right. So yeah. Anyway, let's see here. Da, 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 da. Okay. Let's see here. So yeah, right now we're getting into August. So August, or I should say, we're at the end of August. We're getting into monsoon season. Next month, I would expect it to rain every day here in September, um, and especially in the evenings. Okay, the weather's been great. I would suspect. Let's see here. Okay, so it does say it's 30 degrees here. What's 30 degrees? Come out to be around um, I don't know, 90 some degrees out, something like that. Feels pretty good. I do have a fan on low out here, um, but it feels pretty nice out. Um, so in in the evenings, I would say the temperature gets down into the lower 80s, that type of stuff. And during the day, for the most part, we get heat warnings and that type of stuff. So if it gets too hot out, the National Weather Service here in Thailand will send out a note. And it usually goes out to all the phones and let you know if there's a UV warning or things like that that you need to know about. Okay, but what the weather's been really, really good. Um, let's see here. I want to throw this one out there. I did a video that I got a little bit of flack about on. I was riding my motorbike, and I was over by Terminal 21, and there was a pedestrian crosswalk over there, and there was people in the pedestrian crosswalk going across the road. There was one person waiting to go across, but they weren't sure, and I get that. You have to you have to take your chances when you can take your chances, because you can't count on people to stop even at pedestrian crosswalks. So the thing to kind of get to remember is that here in Pattaya, we've only had pedestrian crosswalks in the last 10 years, designated pedestrian crosswalks. And you can't not expect, it's not like you're in the U.S., okay? And people say this all the time. Well, it's not that way in the U.S. or in Europe or wherever. You're not there, okay? And so when I was going through this pedestrian crosswalk, there was people in the crosswalk, and I was aware of that, but I proceeded on through there. And people called me out on that right away. And they're right, definitely called me out on it. And so I had people publicly saying, hey, that wasn't cool. And then people sent me private messages saying, hey, you need to be more careful, blah, blah, blah. And I get that. But what people don't see is at that time, of course, I'm driving there with my head on a swivel, right? And right behind me is a big water truck, okay? A massive, it's not like an 18-wheeler, but a big truck that has no intention of stopping. All right. And there's a good chance they don't even see me there. I know that, but you don't see that on camera. And so I was talking about this. I was replying to this situation in another video, and I was over on soy 18/22, a back alleyway. I was going to eat with the guys yesterday. And so I was talking about that. And I went to stop at a stop sign on that alleyway. And when I went, I was videoing, and as I went to stop at that stop sign, and a car slamming on its brakes that was going way too fast, damn near hit me. But I'm sitting there, um, I didn't have my head on swivel, and I came really close to being run over because this car had no intentions of stopping at that stop sign. Okay, I stopped at the stop sign. They slammed on their brakes, and I was able to get out of the way, but they went right around me. It was crazy. And that's the situation. So I know the difference between right and wrong. Okay. And I'm not trying to make excuses by any means. Uh, but in Thailand, it's different. And so, yeah. And you know, if there was a cop there in the, if we were in the U.S., they'd give you a ticket for not stopping at a pedestrian crossway if people are there. And I think the law, which just recently went into play, and they, I think it's like a 5,000 baht fine if you get ticketed for not stopping for pedestrians at a crosswalk. Now, that doesn't mean if pedestrians are crossing the road someplace, do you need to stop? No, I don't think so. I think pedestrians are required to use a crosswalk, but people don't do it. And they just do whatever they want to do. And they think because of where they come from, they're right. Okay. And, you know, I get that. Don't get me wrong. But, and I don't want to make excuses for you. Okay. But you have to live right. Okay. And you want to live, you know, and nobody wants to hit you, that's for sure. And you don't want to be hit. You don't want to be a part of that incident. And the chances of you thinking, well, if somebody hits me, I'm going to sue them. Yeah, right. That's probably not going to happen either, you know. So don't assume that you have your rights here in Thailand. You know, you're a guest here. And I don't care. And people say, oh, I've lived here for 36 years. I'm as Thai as anybody. Yeah, right. You'll never be Thai. If you're an American that's lived here for 36 years, fantastic, great on you. You have lots of life experiences, but you're not Thai. Okay, and that's a fact. So, anyway, I hope you understand that end of it there. I do have a video that's going to be coming out. I'm going to try to bump that video into queue because I think it's important that I had enough people mention this to me. I want to get it out to the masses about why I went through that pedestrian crosswalk. I'm not saying I was right by any means. You know, I need to probably be more aware of my surroundings. Okay, but on the other hand, I'm here today. Okay, so that's a positive in there. Let's see here. I'm going to double check something. I do want to go over. Let's see here. So I want to go over the last few nights. Okay, we ended up on Thursday night. We went over to Taco Taco. Have I mentioned that before to you? Not all you can drink. Buy one get one free margaritas. Fantastic. I think you know there's a lot of good margaritas in town. My margaritas are the best. If you get a chance to try mine, my margaritas are the best. Okay. But Taco Taco has a fantastic margarita. Now, shout out to Rita. If you get over there, make sure you tell her Tom Margaritas in Paradise sent you. Yeah, and I like to go there on Thursdays around 7 o'clock. I always get reservations. It's a small place. Okay, so if a bunch of you show up there, get reservations. And we always eat appetizers, that type of stuff. I'll tell you, one of the dishes that I really thought was good was the chili Colorado. I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty good. And we always get the queso dip with the chips, and the chips are freshly made. They cook them right there. Yeah, it's fantastic. So we did that. Now we were uh, with a few guys, okay, and we ended up. I had Amazon with me, and we ended up going out. We hit LK Metro, um, and again, we're talking about some of our favorite places. The very first place. Now we didn't get down to LK until about 10 o'clock at night or so, something like that. I know a lot of guys need to get there early. They want to get there before all the prettiest girls are taken out of the bars and went wherever. So I get that, but we weren't there until like 10 o'clock. Our first place we went to was Mama's Hans. I highly recommend Mama's Hans. Really a great place. But we were only there for about an hour. And then we ended up going over to Top Gun a Go Go. And I think that's the best in that area. I think Top Gun is the best place there. A lot of people say it's too dark in there, but the talent that they have there is good, and the place is pretty full. We went in there with 6 people. Trying to find a seat for 6 people is tough sometimes. We were really fortunate and was able to get I can't remember. I think most places that we ended up going to, we ended up sitting in VIP. But uh, anyway, it just kind of worked out, and we had a great time. We stayed there for like 3 hours. Just really had a great time there. We ended up going to Paradise as well. That's another really good club that I like, and I can't say enough. They don't. The staff is limited. I think they had about 10 people on stage at any given time, but they have good drink prices. Buy one get one free uh, drinks, that type of stuff. And there's a lot of drink specials going on. The one thing that we've noticed is that drink prices in general on the OK Metro area seem to be a little bit higher than, let's say, Walking Street. Okay, but and that goes with lady drinks as well. The common lady drinks are probably 220 to 320, something like that. So, and you need to be careful watching your bins. If your bins start getting out of control, it's your own fault for not checking them out. Okay, so stay on top of that. Then from there we went down to Las Vegas and had a great time there as well, and didn't leave until, I don't know, it was pretty late. So, and it's because of my brother doesn't believe in leaving until the place is shut down. So anyway, okay, I have a couple of the bars that were over there, Palm Breeze, and the place is rocking. They're really, they have a Palm Breeze over at Tree Town, but the one in LK is really great. And I think they have live music in there. There's dancing in there. Um, the place looks phenomenal. Really looks great, and the staff is great too. So uh, I think they are directly competing with Billabong, which is kind of catty corner from them, but it's definitely a place to check out. I would definitely highly recommend Palm Breeze, and I have nothing to do with them. I really don't, but I've been trying to get some B-roll footage, that type of stuff of them. Okay, so I'm going to put out another thing. If you haven't done it already, please, that thumbs up. I appreciate it. Signals to the algorithm that I'm doing something good. And with that being said, it shares this stream with more people. Yeah, and it's a good thing for me, and hopefully a better thing for you. Does that make sense? Okay, so but anyway, okay, we had a really great time, and let's see here. I think tomorrow we'll be down on Walking Street. I think, maybe, yeah, we'll figure that out. Um, so let's see here. I think that's about it. Maybe I should go through and see everything else here. Okay, and military type stuff. There's lots of military resources here. I didn't put down all my notes, so definitely if you want to talk to me about that type of thing, margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. Definitely touch bases with me there. Uh, uh, Language proficiency, Hunter. What do you think is the best method to learn? Man, that's a tough one there. So I'll try to keep this portion of the story short. One-on-one is the best way to learn. You know, especially if you have a companion here that can teach you and kind of give you a lesson every day, 10-minute lesson every day. That's the way to go. No doubt about it. A lot of people try to attend classes. Most people that I see that attend classes, they get going for a month or so, but they don't last. Things come up and it doesn't last. And there's little books that you can get um, that are available. I'm going to go grab one real quick just to kind of give you an idea. Um, Guys, out on the streets, Thais, teachers, and that type of stuff have thought about this, and they develop these books. Okay, and here's one here: Speaking Thai for Tourists, Easy. Okay, uh, this book is suitable for beginners. You know, and they sell these books in English and Thai language and pronunciation, the whole 9 yards, and written in Thai. Um, and they sell these books for like 100 baht uh, for this book, and it's fantastic. I bought this because it had the Thai times in here, so being able to tell time in Thai, and that's one of the things I really wanted to learn. Obviously numbers, things like that, and basic readings are all in here. Um, so, and you can get that for $3, 100 baht. You know, and it's just guys walking around the local bars that are selling these type books, and they're fantastic. I would highly recommend that. You know, um, there's lots of apps that you can use online too, as far as learning the language goes. And I have a friend of mine, one of the guys um, that ended up hiring a private tutor to teach him, number one, how to read and write Thai, and that helped him develop the Thai language skills that he has now. And I'm not saying that he's 100% fluent, but he's pretty close. So um, Brian, guy over at Park Beach, he's been here for 40 years. He's fluent. Ricky Rhodes is fluent. All these guys have been here for a really long time, have taken personal responsibility for their surroundings and became. Uh, at one time, I thought I knew more than what I did, and obviously, that's saying a lot. I know maybe let's just say I know 10% of the language. I know enough to get by and maybe get in trouble. Okay, but a lot of you guys will tell me I don't say anything right. Potato, potato. So, yeah. So, what's the best way to learn? It, it's a crapshoot when it comes to that. I'm telling you, one-on-one I think has to be the way. Um, Consistency. Um, when I was married to Nikki, she helped me a lot. But in all honesty, when I went and took a language course, I talked about this in the past. When I lived in Udon Thani, I was taking a language course for about 6 weeks. I would go 4 times a week. I would come back to the house. I would talk to Nikki's family, and we were talking traditional Thai or Bangkok Thai. We were talking um, Lao. We were talking Isan. all in a combination. Okay. And my wife at the time couldn't stand me uh, talking Thai. She didn't like it. And eventually she said, hey, she wanted me to stop uh, taking going to school because she felt like I was learning too much too fast. And she told me essentially that a lot of times when she's talking with her family, they're talking about me. And sometimes she felt like maybe they weren't talking nicely about me all the time. Okay. Um, it's funny that people talk about what the Thais talk about, you know, and money's always a topic and where they're going to get more money, that type of thing, for sure. Another thing they talk about, it's just amazing in the family story. Even the old people talk about sex, you know, and I know I'm going to get people. Oh, they don't do that baloney. That's it's unbelievable. You know, it's so common for a young person, especially, to be talking about sex with their mom and their grandmother. You know, that type of stuff. It's just crazy. So uh, yeah. Anyway, my wife wanted to keep me stupid. Okay, she didn't want me to understand what they were saying about me. All right, and I felt like I was accepted in the family. Okay, um, I really did. I had a really good time, but it really made me question um, my place in the family, even though I was with them for like 8 years. So yeah, it's tough. It's so is learning Thai language the way to go? Yeah, definitely learn everything you can. Um, I think it's a win-win situation for you. Don't let somebody tell you not to do it because they don't want you to understand what they're saying. Because if that's if that's what they're telling you, they have something to hide. And I guarantee you, uh, even though as much as I was in love with Nikki, um, she was never really in love with me. Okay, now she played the good game. There's no doubt about it. But she was just a bar girl that you take the girl out of the bar, but you can't take the bar out of the girl, right? Yeah, and it all came down to money, 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 money grabbing. We started out 10,000 baht a month. That was 20 some years ago. By the 8 years later, we were up to 100,000 a month was her allowance. So just to kind of give you an idea, and it happens to all of us. Um, well, not all of us, and again with relationships and that, and in Thailand, there's an awful lot of relationships that work. Okay, and there's guys on here right now that have been married for a long time. Uh, I had a guy tell me the other day that he rescued his wife from the bar business. She's only been working for like 2 or 3 days, and now they're living up country. Yeah, I hope your story is a happy ending. I really do. But I know that the stories that we hear about, that we talk about, always involves problems. Whether it's scams or that type of stuff. So yeah, you just have to really, really be careful. But learning a language is definitely the way to go. Let me say, I'm going to check my uh, comments here. Let's see here. I can't see. E. Allier, totally enjoy your videos. Thanks for taking the time to make them. I love you're considered relocating to Canom. So, is that Canom? Where is that? Where are we talking about? Is that Thailand? I don't know. Canom. It's an area in Thailand. I guess I have to look that up. Okay. Um, yeah, I can't say that I even know where the area is. So, you have to, uh, let's see here. Let me take a minute. It's an area in Thailand. Let's see here. Let's hopefully see. How do we spell that? No worry. It's okay. I wanna fight. Oh, Koh Samui. Koh Samui. Yeah, fantastic. I love Koh Samui. It's small, so the infrastructure is not as good as Pattaya. Okay, but the weather's great. It's on the other side, straight out the other side of the Gulf of Thailand. Okay, down on your way to it's what 8 hours south of Hua Hin, and it's probably 8 hours northeast of Phuket, if that generalized area. So, and it's a great area to go, and they have their own airport, that type of stuff. But the infrastructure of Koh Samui is not the same as the infrastructure here. Hospitals, shopping centers, that type of stuff. Nightlife's there, there's no doubt about it. Great food, but it's definitely a place to go and check out. Definitely, if you come here, um, go there and spend a week there. You know, it's definitely a place to check out. Has gasoline got expensive in Thailand? It's not because of the Iran war. Okay, gasoline in Thailand, fuel in Thailand is expensive. Always has been. Okay, but it's controlled by the government. So prices, um, because of the war, there was a talk of shortages of fuel, that type of stuff. So it crept up by 1 or 2 baht per liter, that type of stuff. But you're talking about we're spending, let's say, uh, normally it's like 38 baht per regular 91 gasoline. I just filled up yesterday for like 50 baht for 95. For some reason, I put 95 in my motorbike, but I don't need to do that. So if I go with 91, it's like 38. So, or let's say 39 baht. So that's probably like $1.30 a liter, that type thing. Um, so you're getting to be pretty close to $5 a gallon here in Thailand, and it's been that way for 20 years. Okay, um, it may have dropped down, let's say, to 36 or so. I remember when it was 29. Maybe 20 years ago, but yeah, overall, it's always been costing more. But we don't have. I don't know if this is a good thing or not. We don't have all the safety things on our vehicles like maybe you do in the country that you're from. Okay. So I don't know if Thailand's just not concerned about environmental concerns or things like that. But it seems like I have a diesel pickup truck and I can put in, let's say, 10 liters or so of diesel fuel and drive like 12 hours on that. Okay. It's amazing how far I can go. And my motorbike in general, I refuel it about once a month, something like that. Yesterday I had to put in 210 baht, which is probably the most I've ever put in my fuel tank on my motorbike. Now, I bought fuel at a Shell gas station. It's absolutely the most expensive gas in Thailand if you go to Shell. I normally go to PTT, petroleum something. Anyway, um, and the fuel prices are cheaper through PTT, but there's other ones too. And anyway, um, yeah, so fuel prices are more expensive here, but we don't use as much fuel. That makes sense. This month, our electric costs were higher. I paid 3,000 baht for my electric and water. That's the most I've ever paid. So what's that, about $90 for the month? But I had the aircon on all the time, so kind of weigh that out. Um, yeah. Uh, okay, so Kanom is about 45 minutes to an hour away from Koh Samui. I'll have to look that up, brother. Um, if I find out anything about it, I'll try to mention it for you. Okay. Um, yeah. Let's see here. Anything else? True Money. I've heard about True Money. I don't know anything about it. Can they use it for scanning? I think they can. Okay, and they have prompt pay here as well, and similar to the Philippines. Um, so yeah, that's a good option. Most banks, you can ask them for a QR code and just scan it right for your bank app. Um, so yeah, absolutely, it's definitely an easy way. Uh, hey, here's another one. I'm going to throw this in there too. On visa agents, I just stopped down and I talked to Palm at One Stop. Okay, and there's probably hundreds of visa agents here in the Pattaya area, and I always recommend using them because it just makes life easier using a visa agent. One Stop Visa, I think they're competitive. They're one of the cheaper ones in town, but they're competitive, and then they have all these extra things that they do, and they don't charge people extra money to do them, right? So I stopped in there. Everybody's talking about Mark, and Mark um, has some type of infection that got into his kidneys. He's been in the hospital quite a bit, and he's not doing as well as people were led to believe. Palm said that it's going to be at least another month if he gets back to the office, if he ever comes back to the office. Okay. Um, that's not to say that don't reach out to him. Send him if you have his email and that, send him a message. You know, but Palm takes care of it, and the thing is with Palm, um, I had a good friend of mine. Um, that is concerned that maybe they're not as personable as Mark, and they're Thais. Okay, this is Thailand, and so Palm is a great gal. Okay, and she has this staff that she truly believes is family. Everybody in there, they eat together, they do everything together. Everybody remembers Khan in there. Khan ended up taking a leave of, I shouldn't say a leave of absence. I think she just stopped working. She has a boyfriend. And, yeah, I know a lot of you guys think you are her boyfriend. But anyway, and her boyfriend asked her to stop working. I think he ended up getting jealous and that because she's getting hit on all the time, that sort of thing. But anyway, so she ended up taking some time off. But her sister works there as well. I think her sister and her cousin works there at One Stop. Anyway, it sounds like Khan's going to be coming back. She misses that family atmosphere and everything. So they'll figure that one out. But, people are concerned that maybe Palm is not as personable. You just have to ask Tom or Palm to a question. Get her attention, sit down and talk to her. She's a great woman, and they have a great business. And so I'm going to leave it at that. Let them take care of you, and they're going to go in. They have an inside with immigrations and everybody associated with it, whether it's driver's license, banking, everything, they can take care of you. It's a lot easier. Can you do it yourself? Sure. And there's banking apps and immigration apps, the whole THIM system that's coming online here soon. That's all available. But going through the visa agents, it takes the headache out of, well, it's just easier. Okay, so I always recommend going with a visa agent. It doesn't matter who you go with. That's just One Stop. I think they're the best in Pattaya. So you figure it out. And if you have a place that you enjoy, number one, definitely put it in the comment section below. All right, that's going to be it. We're going to try to do this again next Saturday. Try, and I'll put up a note on that. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We're going for over 2 hours again. I'm sorry about taking so long. If you want me to go over other things, put it in the comment section below. Again, thanks for that thumbs up. That super thanks. I think I got 2 of them today. Wow, you guys humble me. Okay, this is my first time first time I ever got a super thanks on live stream. So life is good. You guys humble me. Yeah, and if you're in town, want to meet up for coffee or going out to dinner or going out doing our thing, yeah, let me know. I wanted to touch on prices. I'm not going to go over that right now, but prices are stable, but they're always changing here. So we'll touch on that later on. And yeah, you have to have a great day. Take care of yourself. Do the right thing. And that's it. That's good. We'll see you. See you when we see you. Make sure you give me that thumbs up if you haven't done it yet. Bye bye. Oh, I'll turn this around so you can see the ocean as we're leaving. Or not. Is this the ocean or the sea? The sea. Somebody was trying to explain to me the difference between a sea view and an ocean view. And are we looking at the sea right now? Or is that the Gulf of Thailand? Uh-oh, somebody gave me another super thanks. Oh my God, man. Thank you so much. Wait a minute. I have to see who did that. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it again. All right. I'll turn this one more time. Oh, man. I'm such a fashion statement. All right. Bye-bye. In stream.